Act 2 of The Intimate Strangers by Booth Tarkington. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act 2. An interior, a living room and sunroom combined, of the house at Miss Stewart's farm. It is a cheerful apartment in imaginative but quiet taste. The sunroom does not so much open out of the living room as form part of it, the upper part as an ample sort of alcove. Very simple pilasters against the living room wall, upright and up left, mark the lower corners of the sunroom, giving the opening somewhat the effect of a very wide doorway or entrance. From each of these the sunroom walls, which consist principally of French windows, extend a little distance up, and the living room walls extend to right and to left, thence down to front. Two of the French windows of the sunroom are practicable doors, one up right and one up left. The back of the sunroom consists mainly of 3 French windows, through which there is a glimpse of trees just coming into young April leaf. This is only a glimpse, however, as the windows, which are all oblong and without half moons or arches at the top, are prettily curtained with figured or embroidered linen. The woodwork of the sunroom is apple green. The living room walls are done in a rather warm shade of tan. There is a fireplace with a Tod Hunter type of simple mantel, right centre, and over it on the wall a large old-fashioned mirror with gilt frame. Opposite the fireplace, left, are double doors. There is a phonograph in the sunroom upright, the view of which is obscured by plants, and there is a baby grand piano in the corner of the living room up left. A closed cabinet stands against the upright wall of the living room, opposite the piano. The furniture is all comfortable, pleasant to the eye, and not new. Blue figured chintzes and easy upholstery. There is a short blue velvet davenport or sofa, right centre, near the fireplace, and at its right elbow a very dark green console table. There is a wire flower stand with potted flowers up centre in the sunroom, 2 old-fashioned chairs and a rag carpet medallion on the floor. There are side lights in both living room and sunroom with shaded bulbs. There are some sprays of apple blossoms in a jar on the piano. The morning sunshine is bright outside the sunroom windows, and the place is cheerful, but not eye-murdering with light. The fire is burning left, and facing it is an old lady, for she is undeniably both, and with her cap and old-fashioned gown rather suggests Whistler's portrait of his mother. She is dainty but rather fretful. A youngish middle-aged man on his knees is rubbing the hearth and brass fender with a rag. He is a house servant in working clothes, wearing a great old blue apron, his dark trousers and waistcoat. His shirt sleeves are rolled up, and he has omitted a collar and tie. The old lady is Florence's Aunt Ellen. Aunt Ellen, in armchair by fireplace, wishing him to continue a narration.
Well, and then, after they had their breakfast?
Well, he went to sleep leaning on the mantelpiece, and then she had me take him up to bed in the big room.
Our having a gentleman visitor, it's quite exciting.
Yes'm.
Is he going to stay over tonight with us?
No, Mum. He said he had to get the noon train at Clinton on the main line. I got to drive him over, she says.
Would you consider him a very nice-looking gentleman, Henry?
Well, to me, he looks more like a man that's kind of got something laying heavy on his mind, like.
I should think she'd have been dead.
No, Mum, she went over to the empty tenant's house in the buckboard.
She's a very remarkable woman, Henry.
She says this slowly and with a kind of placid emphasis, as if she has said it to the same listener many times before.
Yes, Miss Ellen.
Florence is heard outside off upright.
Henry! Henry! Whoa there!
Henry crosses to centre.
It's Miss Florence. She went off horseback for her sleep.
Florence enters upright. She is dressed in riding clothes, breeches, boots, waist, a short coat, and a dark straw hat. She has a riding crop in her hand, yet there is a daintiness about her. Florence as she enters.
Henry, don't you want to ride Tim down to the barn for me?
Henry going up obediently.
Yes'm.
Florence coming down.
Hello, Aunt Ellen.
Henry exits upright.
Had your breakfast? Where's Mr. Ames?
She flings herself in a chair, right of table left, with one knee over its arm. Aunt Ellen frowning at the posture.
I haven't met him. Henry tells me he's resting.
Poor thing. He's a right natty old berry, though, Aunt Ellen.
Aunt Ellen shuddering slightly.
Won't you sometimes speak English, Florence?
None of my friends would understand me if I did.
Florence is always lighter than she is rough, and her tone of voice is prettier than the words she says. An electric bell rings faintly off left.
That's Johnny. I told him to clean up and come over and shoot some tennis.
Aunt Ellen frowning.
When were you last in bed, Florence?
When'd you think I was? Why, night before last.
She giggles.
Same as Aunt Isabel.
We won't discuss.
Florence with a suppressed chuckle.
No, I guess we better not.
But you, after being out in an automobile all night with this young Mr. White.
Hunting, Aunt Isabel.
She goes on at once with amused slyness.
What do you think of Aunt Isabel's conduct, Aunt Ellen?
I have told you I never discuss Aunt Isabel.
One of the double doors left opens, and a middle-aged woman steps in. She is neat and responsible looking, but more of the housekeeper type than a maid. Her name is Mattie. She speaks immediately.
It's Mr. White.
Florence, not rising, turns her head and calls loudly toward the door.
Come on in, Johnny.
Aunt Ellen annoyed.
Florence, please.
If Aunt Isabel can't reform me, you can't, Aunt Ellen. Johnny, come ahead in.
Johnny enters left, passing Mattie, who goes out left at once, closing the door. Johnny wears an old Norfolk jacket, a flannel shirt, white flannel trousers and tennis shoes. He carries a racket in a shabby case under his arm and has a cap in his hand. He speaks in a grieved tone as he enters.
You said you'd be ready for... Howdy do, Miss Helen?
This is a brief parenthesis to Aunt Ellen, and he goes on immediately to Florence.
You expect to shoot tennis in boots?
Florence rising.
Oh, I'll change. You pretty near dead for sleep?
Me? Bet you are.
I'll bet you $10 I can go till day after tomorrow.
Never close your eyes?
Yes, nor my mouth either.
I lose.
I'll show you how sleepy I am.
She is at the Victriola in the sunroom, and as she speaks she releases a lively dance record and turns down, extending her arms.
Florence, do you have to dance all the time?
Florence seizing upon Johnny.
Absolutely. Come on.
They begin to dance a very modern dance.
And that poor gentleman trying to get some rest upstairs.
It's time for the old kid to come down. I want to talk some more to him.
Johnny as they go on dancing.
Done up, was he? Well, take men that age. They can't do as much as if...
No. Think he's some 3-year-old? That was a pretty rough trip we brought him.
Hark! I believe you'd flirt with George Washington if you got a chance.
Hush up and get off my foot.
Aunt Ellen shudders.
Your Aunt Isabel was listening to you the whole way, too. She didn't look to me as if she thought much of your style either.
Can't you dance without talking? What do you think this is? A chautauqua?
Aunt Ellen. She has put on a pince nez and looks at them sourly over her shoulder.
It certainly isn't dancing, is it?
I never could remember, Aunt Ellen. Was it you or Grandma that walked a minuet with Alexander Hamilton?
It was my great-grandmother.
I guess she'd have been shocked enough if she'd ever seen you dancing when you were young.
Aunt Ellen rising angrily.
Shocked at my dancing? At the waltz? The polka? The schottische?
Oh, don't get so upset.
She is a little irritated and speaks flippantly, but she keeps on dancing.
Shame on you.
What for?
To dance yourself in that manner and say anyone would be shocked at my dancing, and for saying I might have danced with Alexander Hamilton.
Why, wasn't he nice?
Shame!
Oh, do sit down.
It is a tiff, and they speak sharply and quickly.
Indeed, I shall not.
Stand up then. Gosh.
I will retire from the room.
Oh, I apologize. Golly.
Henry enters upright, leaving the door open. Henry as he enters.
She's back.
Florence with gloomy scorn to Aunt Ellen.
Now I suppose you'll tell her all about it.
I shall not. Excuse me.
Exits left.
Oh, my.
She flings herself in a chair right of table left.
I wish.
Johnny looking off upright and gloomily nodding in that direction to check Florence, who is about to continue speaking.
Hark! You'd better hush up if you don't want her to...
He means if Florence doesn't want Isabel to perceive that there's been a row, Florence checks herself. Isabel outside upright.
Henry!
I'm waiting.
Isabel enters cheerily upright in the sunroom. She wears a driving coat over her dress, driving gloves and a pretty little hat. As she comes in, her air is brisk, as of one fresh from driving on a cool morning, and she speaks as she comes down, beginning to Henry, interrupting herself to greet Johnny, and then reverting to Henry.
Henry, how do you do, Johnny White? Henry, I want you to drive Mr. Ames to the train.
Yes'm, you already told me.
Let him know in plenty of time to start, but, well, not too much time. Not so that he'll have to wait a long while at the station.
With a significance of her own thought that Ames has had a great deal of station waiting lately.
No, mum.
Exit up left. Isabel. She turns to Florence as Henry goes out upright. Florence's attitude and look are of a brooding sort. Isabel's glance rests momentarily upon her, but she speaks to Johnny.
Johnny White, why is this lady so gloomy?
Johnny shakes his head briefly.
What's the matter?
To Florence.
Where's your Aunt Ellen? Hasn't she come down yet?
Oh, yes, she was here.
Isabel comprehending cheerfully.
Oh, I see. What was it about?
She didn't like it because... Why, I was only making fun of old-fashioned dancing. Everything old-fashioned is so funny.
Isn't it? I used to say that to my grandmother. Did you apologize?
Yes, I did.
Did you say, I apologize, golly?
Why, Miss Stewart, how do you guess Florence said that?
When you live with them, Johnny, you get to know their habits. Do you know what she's thinking now?
She puts her hand on Florence's shoulder, Florence still being seated. Johnny shaking his head.
No, I certainly don't.
She's wondering why people are always so queer when they get older.
Well, she might ask Mr. Ames about that. He must be anyway pretty near something way long over 30 or something, isn't he, Miss Stewart?
Yes, I'm afraid he must be almost that near the end. But still, I rather doubt if she will ask Mr. Ames about it, Johnny. No, hardly.
She crosses centre, smiling to him as he grins in rueful comprehension.
Oh, I like old men.
She comes out of her brooding fit as she rises.
Don't you think Mr. Ames is terribly intriguing?
Intriguing? No, I think he seems honest. Well, quite honest at least.
But he has such a distinguished-looking face.
Well, he has an uncle who's distinguished. That is, he's always spoken of as remarkable because he plays polo at 66. The uncle, I mean, Florence, of course.
This man's a man that really interests me. I think from his looks he has the power to think. Very few people have the power to think in this world, you know, Aunt Isabel.
Oh, yes, fewer and fewer every day. It's quite natural for...
Turning unexpectedly to Johnny.
Have you the power to think, Johnny White?
No, you know what she means, don't you?
Never mind.
Isabel, in an impressed whisper to Johnny.
She's thinking.
Aunt Isabel, I really would like him to stay over a day or so.
He said he had to go on to New York at noon. I'm afraid he made quite a point of it.
Florence rises and crosses centre.
Oh, well, you know men always can stay if they want to.
That's why it's better not to urge them. They may only make it clearer they don't want to.
Florence at the door.
Oh, Mr. Ames might change his mind. Later.
Crosses to door left.
Before you begin with that, dear, could you please first go and apologize to your Aunt Ellen?
Oh, all right.
Try it without a golly.
All right, I'll go and kid her to death.
Exit left. Isabel turns to Johnny, sitting on sofa right.
Don't you seem to intrigue Florence at all, Johnny?
No, she just takes a notion.
You mean she just gets this way?
Yes'm. When there's somebody around, she's fixing to make 'em get mush over her. You've noticed that, haven't you, Miss Stewart?
I fancy I may have, just possibly.
Then she rubs that power to think business all over me, because the faculty found out I wasn't intellectual or something, so I had to abandon my college career.
Isabel sitting on the sofa and concealing a tendency to laugh.
Come on. I see you want to say something more to me.
Johnny, swallowing, sits on sofa left of Miss Stewart.
Yes'm, Miss Stewart, you're a woman that's had a good many men go mush over you, so with your experience, why, the truth is, I may not have all the brains in the world, but she hasn't either. But she gets these fits when she thinks she has, and what I want to say is simply, why, you know how it is when there's some new man around. She treats me more like a doormat than a person.
I understand you perfectly, Johnny. Go ahead.
I just wanted to say so, because you've had probably more experience of life than I've had, no doubt.
How long do you expect to feel this way about her, Johnny?
Johnny, swallowing.
Well, if everything turns out all right, though it doesn't look so much like it right now, but if it does, and she finds out I'm her, well, her real mate, as it were, why, I expect to go on with her, and on, and on, and on, and...
He seems to be going on, though slowing down.
On and on and on, until you're just any age. Oh, 28 or even 29, maybe?
Yes'm, indefinitely.
Suppose you were past 30, Johnny. Suppose, like Mr. Ames, you were even, well, whatever age we'll say Mr. Ames is.
What age, me? I guess probably I'll be sitting around somewhere, if I was alive.
But you'd still like Florence to be about 19, wouldn't you?
Well, about the way she looks now, yes'm. That's a good deal why I like her, the way she looks.
Isabel, smiling.
It isn't fair, is it?
Ma'am?
You see, when you're 20, you like us to be 19, and when you're 50, you're apt to like us to be 19. Well, we can't manage it, you see. We can't stay 19, much as we want to please you.
Johnny smiles.
Oh, well, I guess I'd feel just the same about Florence if she was 1,000.
Isabel looking at him quickly.
Would you? If she were 1,000?
Johnny laughing a little ruefully.
I guess I would.
As if he'd probably have to.
You think so?
Well, if I did, I guess then she'd know what sort of man I am.
Yes, she ought to.
And she'd see how I really feel about her.
Isabel smiling quickly.
Yes, so she would. It's quite an idea.
Rises. Johnny rises.
Course, I don't think anything come her the way she acts over this Mr. Ames. For one thing, I believe he'd have too much sense.
Do you? You can never be sure of that, Johnny.
Well, she begged him a lot to stay over till tomorrow, and he said he couldn't, just like he did when you asked him, Miss Stewart.
Yes, that looks intelligent of him, if he sticks to it and goes.
And anyhow, he only said one personal thing to her all the time, and it was a kind of joke.
He did say a personal thing to her?
It was when you went to hurry the cook with breakfast. Mr. Ames asked Florence, oh, well, it wasn't so frightful personal.
What was it, Johnny?
Well, she said she supposed she'd be as old as her grandfather before she got any breakfast, and he asked her if she knew how old her grandfather was.
He did? He asked her that? What did she tell him?
She didn't know. Do you think that was pretty personal? I don't see...
Why, yes, I believe I do. I think it was quite personal indeed, asking her how old her grandfather was.
Matty enters left. Isabel quickly on her entrance.
What is it?
The gentleman. I heard him stirring round. You said to let you know.
Yes?
I think he's coming down.
Matty, it seems to me you told me once you didn't think this was a becoming hat.
No, ma'am. You asked me, and I says I never could like it on you, ma'am.
Good gracious, you might be right.
She hurries away up through the sunroom and off up left.
Didn't hear Miss Florence stirring around or anything, did you?
Matty with a glance toward where Isabel departed.
Yes, sir. She's changing her things. Again, too.
Going to exit left. Johnny rather sharply as she opens the door.
Will you ask her how long she thinks I...
He is checked by an approach, seen through the open door, mutters "oh" and turns right. Ames enters right, passing Matty, who waits for him to pass, then exit right. Ames has changed his clothes for tweeds. He looks freshened but preoccupied. Ames in greeting.
Ah, Mr. White. Haven't you been to bed at all?
Johnny smiling.
No, do you get rested up some?
They shake hands. Ames crossing to the fire right.
Oh, yes, quite a bit. I suppose our two, comrades aren't down yet? Miss Stewart must be pretty much exhausted, I'm afraid.
She doesn't act like it. Right after you went up to bed, she drove off to one of her farms on business.
Sits right of table left.
She did?
Driving herself in a buckboard.
Why, I declare.
Oh, Miss Stewart's considered a pretty remarkable woman, you know.
Ames, struck by this, frowns somewhat thoughtfully.
She is. She's considered remarkable?
Johnny shaking his head seriously.
Yes, indeed. She's the most remarkable of her family.
I feel myself rather at a loss. I seem to be here so unexpectedly, as it were, and such a stranger. I'm rather confused about the family. Miss Stuart's father and mother, I take it, aren't living?
Golly, no, I dunno when they died.
Ames set back a little.
A considerable time ago, I suppose.
Well, yes, must have been.
Ames, rather wistfully, yet trying to sound careless and casual.
You don't remember them, I take it.
Me? Golly, no.
Ah, the present family, then?
It's just Miss Stuart and Miss Ellen Stuart and Florence.
Miss Ellen Stuart I haven't met.
Sits on sofa.
She's Florence's aunt.
Her aunt?
Yes, I always get mixed up on relations too.
He sits on the small of his back, crossing his legs, and decides to try a wicked shot.
I don't know how old my grandfather was when he died, any more'n Florence did hers.
Ames unconscious of the effort just made.
It seems to me that last night Miss Stuart spoke of 2 orphan nieces she was bringing up.
Bringing up? Florence is one, but Miss Stuart couldn't have meant she was bringing Miss Ellen up. She's about 100, or 110 maybe. Anyhow, she must be around 60.
I must have been mistaken. Then there are just these 3 ladies in the family?
3's all. They do need a man around.
Yes, it would, seem so.
They look at each other with some coldness. Florence is heard singing off left.
This'n comin' needs more'n one the way she acts lately.
Florence enters left, singing till she gets into the room. Then she stops suddenly. She wears a most becoming tennis costume, but accompanies it with white high-heel slippers. She has a pair of white tennis shoes in one hand, and a racket and a net bag of tennis balls in the other. There are 5 or 6 balls, not all new. Ames rises and goes a little to right. Florence crosses to centre, back of table, to Ames.
Oh, you're here too.
So am I here too.
I'm glad you didn't know it, if that's why you kept on singing.
Florence going over to him.
I told you in the car you were a quick worker.
She doesn't smile.
I've taken a frightful fancy to you.
Johnny before Ames can speak.
One of the mail service aviators had to land in their back meadow here last month. She pulled that on him before his wheels touched ground.
I didn't.
You did. You had to holler to make him hear it.
Florence turning seriously to Ames for sympathy.
These boys nowadays, they think life's nothing but jazz. In this life people meet a girl, but so often they don't see she probably has thoughts other people couldn't think. I have to lead 2 lives. One outdoors with mere adolescence, but the other, that's a life apart. You understand what I mean, don't you?
Ames smiling.
I think so.
I thought you would. That's why you intrigue me so. You're a great kid.
She slaps him on arm.
Oh, listen.
Florence glances at him.
Mr. Ames, don't you believe that very few people in this life have the power to really think?
Johnny sliding to the floor from his chair.
Oh, Mike.
Florence annoyed turning.
Cut the rough stuff, you caterpillar.
Johnny rising to his knees and seeming to paddle with his racket at the tennis shoes in her hand.
You going to wear 4 shoes at the same time, centipede?
Florence sitting.
I never can bear to put flat shoes on till the last minute. And then...
She removes one slipper.
It's so tiresome getting 'em on.
May I help you?
Oh, if you would.
Oh, that's why you brought 'em, I see.
Florence giving him a cold, quick glance, but speaking to Ames. He kneels before her.
It's outrageous of me to let you take so much trouble.
Then leaning toward him, she speaks softly.
Oh, my.
He goes out of the picture, stepping out upright.
Mr. Ames, Please stay over till tomorrow. I ask you to.
You're very kind. I couldn't let your aunt think I'm so vacillating. You see, I told her I had to be in New York this evening.
But you just said you had to go, didn't you? Because you wanted to be polite about making an unexpected visit?
Yes, something like that. But after telling your aunt that I couldn't stay...
But aren't there any reasons you'd like to stay?
Yes, there are.
Then I'll fix it for you. I'll say you sent a wire to New York letting 'em know you reached here, and I'll write a message on one of our telegraph blanks to you. It will be the answer from New York, telling you there isn't a reason for you to leave.
She is pleased with her idea. Ames laughing, but a little nervous over her idea.
Oh, no.
I will. I'll have a man bring it in. Don't you spoil it.
I couldn't.
Yes, you could. And when my telegraph comes, if you give me away...
She is interrupted by Johnny's return. Johnny has been just beyond the threshold upright, looking off outdoors, and now comes in and down a few steps.
I got it.
Florence. She checks Ames, who is about to expound his protest.
Hush!
To Johnny.
You got what?
Got a wish I just made.
He points to door up left, then claps his hand over his mouth, as if undesirous the lady entering should hear him. He is facing that way. Isabel enters up left in the sunroom. She has taken off her hat and coat, is in a very pretty morning dress, and carries some work in her hand, a work bag. She comes in looking at Johnny, who has his hand over his mouth.
What's the matter, Johnny White?
He jerks his head toward Ames and Florence, who are down right centre. For an instant, Isabel lets it be seen that she is the least bit taken aback.
Oh.
She immediately smiles as if pleased.
Oh.
She comes down as she speaks.
Your shoes are too large again, dear.
Ames looking up at Isabel with a little embarrassment.
I was helping her to, change.
Isabel smiling.
You were?
That is, I am. She mentioned some difficulty in, doing it herself, and I
should think you would. Who wouldn't? And who wouldn't make it as long as possible, too?
She turns to a chair left centre. Ames rising.
It's, done.
As he has taken off Florence's second slipper, he has unconsciously put it under his arm, where it still is.
Is it? Already?
Johnny sharply to Florence.
Come on, here.
All right, I'm coming. What's the hurry?
Johnny. Florence goes up as he speaks. Johnny has gone down to the sofa she has occupied and has picked up the bag of tennis balls. He immediately goes up after Florence. He calls out,
Bet your $1 I beat you to the tennis court.
Both rush for the door upright. He swings her back upright. Florence strikes at him with her racket. Florence giggling as she runs after him.
No fair! You gotta start!
Isabel is looking at Ames, who is standing, still in some embarrassment, near the fireplace, unconscious of the slipper under his arm. He is looking up at the departing couple. The other slipper is on the seat of Florence's chair.
Aren't they extraordinary, Mr. Ames?
Ames turns.
Aren't they extraordinary, these young things? Not tidy, though. She's left her slippers on the sofa.
Glancing at the slipper, then again at him, she begins to sew some lace into cambric. Ames still embarrassed and not catching this.
It seems to me you're rather extraordinary yourself, my dear.
He pauses an instant, then hastily adds,
Lady?
So that his phrase is, my dear lady. Isabel as if a little suspiciously.
I? Do you think so? In what way?
sleeping a few hours on a wooden bench, motoring 40 miles of mud hills, then driving off in a buckboard instead of collapsing.
Isabel looking at him.
Oh, a country life keeps people quite robust. It's remarkable.
Then looking at her work.
As I said, though, I'm afraid Florence is untidy sometimes.
With a little gesture toward the slipper.
You see where she's left that pair of slippers?
Ames glancing at it absently.
Pair? There's only one.
Isabel bending her head over her work.
So, could you find the other?
Sits right of table left.
Oh, certainly.
He glances absently about, then realises with a start that the slipper is under his arm. She seems oblivious of everything except her lace-making. He hastily puts the slipper under the chair, straightens up and looks at her again. She seems as before. He stoops looking about.
I think it's under the... Oh, yes, here it is.
He puts it with the other one and comes to centre.
Will you set them on the hearth, please?
Certainly.
Then it'll be easy to find them if she comes back soon to have them put on again.
Oh, yeah.
He begins to say, oh yes, but checks himself uncomfortably. He places shoes at fireplace, then goes to right centre, and is conscious of them as rather damnatory, and a pause follows in which he glances back and down at them twice.
I'm sorry you felt you couldn't stay over till tomorrow, but since you insisted you couldn't...
Inquiringly, as if giving him a chance to alter his mind.
I'm afraid I ought to get back.
Isabel with a submissive nod, regretting.
Very well. I've arranged for you to go.
Thank you.
Moving toward her.
Is that lace you are making?
Do you like it?
Ames putting on a pair of glasses, rather hastily looking at the lace, and as hastily slipping the glasses back into his waistcoat pocket again as he speaks.
It's very lovely, yes. You must have remarkable eyes to do that.
Isabel after a look at him.
Yes, my eyes are quite good.
Using quite to mean rather, as elderly people speak of pleasant faculties still remaining.
Is it what they call a doily?
Isabel glancing at him thoughtfully.
I wonder if I oughtn't to make a little cap of it.
A cap?
Don't you think it's a pretty fashion? A lace cap on the head.
You mean like the Brenton peasant women?
No, I was thinking of our grandmothers.
But,
Isabel letting it touch her hair a moment.
Would you like me in it?
Her tone is entirely natural, as if she considered the possibility seriously. Ames trying not to be at all flustered.
Of course I should, like you, in anything.
Are you sure you would?
Why, how can you ask me?
Isabel working.
As sure as you were last night?
Yes, indeed.
And would you like me in a cap?
Well, wouldn't it seem a little...
Do you mean you think it would seem a little premature?
Decidedly,
Breathlessly correcting himself.
Of course it would. I meant...
You mustn't flatter me too much.
Flatter you?
Isabel smiling.
I'll keep off the cap as long as I can. Really, there's no excuse for caps now. I suppose women used to wear 'em because in those days there was so few supplies.
Supplies?
Yes, like imports from Paris. And besides, they didn't approve of 'em, poor things.
Pardon me. Who didn't approve of what?
Our grandmothers didn't approve of accomplishing marvels with cosmetics. You know the miracles they do to faces nowadays?
Miracles?
It's remarkable. No, there's no excuse for a woman to wear a cap these days. Not till she has to just absolutely give up.
Then at her work.
Don't you think so?
Oh, Oh, yes.
Oh, it's just struck me. I ought to be entertaining you, oughtn't I? But we haven't any family photograph album.
What a lucky family.
I could show you some daguerreotypes, though. Yes.
Rising suddenly upon a thought.
You ought to see some of our heirlooms.
She gives him a fleeting faint smile, and leaving her work on the table, goes to the closed cabinet against the wall upright, opens the doors, and brings forth an old mahogany case. She brings this down to the table left centre, opens it, takes out a folding daguerreotype.
Daguerreotypes?
Yes. We don't show them to every visitor, of course. Sit down.
She hands him the daguerreotype.
There. You like my father?
Ames rather touched, yet rather apprehensive.
Is that your father? He must have been a very fine-looking man. Is that a stock he's wearing?
Yes. I think stocks were so becoming, didn't you?
Handing him another daguerreotype.
That's my Aunt Margaret, father's sister, at 91. We all lived very long on my father's side.
Ah, very intelligent face.
Daguerreotypes have a charm, haven't they? I wonder people stop taking them.
I don't think I ever saw any daguerreotypes taken much after the Civil War.
No, I don't think I have either.
Handing him another.
That's my Uncle Charles in his uniform. He was a colonel.
In the Civil War?
Oh, no, in the Mexican War.
Ames more disturbed, but concealing it fairly well.
Ah, he must have been a very fine-looking man.
Yes, indeed.
She smiles as she hands him another.
Here's one of a little girl. That is, a young girl. Does anything about her strike you as familiar?
Ames looking at her, not at the daguerreotype, and trying to conceal a foreboding.
Familiar?
Yes. See if you don't guess who it is.
Who is it?
He looks at it, then suddenly looks closer, starts slightly, draws his head back from it, staring incredulously.
Can't you guess who it is?
Why, it can't.
He looks apprehensively to her and back again, with painfully growing conviction.
Why can't it?
Isn't it your mother?
Isabel, in a tone that smilingly chides him for being so slow.
No.
Why, there weren't any taken after. Why, it couldn't be.
Oh, but this girl, you see, she was only a child, really.
Oh, yes, that's all she was. I see. She wasn't...
No, not over 16 or 17, no. Don't you see any resemblance?
Well, it's charming enough to...
It's a sister of mine.
It is? Your sister?
Yes, she was quite a lot older than I am and married a missionary, and they were lost in a typhoon.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, it was quite a time ago.
She smiles and puts the pictures back in the box.
There. I just wanted to see if you'd see the resemblance. I won't put you through all the others.
She takes up her work and sits again as she speaks.
Thank you. Thank you for showing them to me.
He rises, wipes his forehead hastily, and moves toward the fireplace, taking out his cigarette case.
Thank you. May I smoke here?
She nods.
I
Crosses to console table right centre, lights cigarette. Isabel cheerfully and working.
Daguerreotypes and things like that bring back such dear old times to us, don't they?
I suppose they do, of course.
He takes out 2 cigarettes.
Yes, they do bring them back.
She gives him a glance and bends over her work.
Where are the snows of yesteryear? Yes, but where are the yesteryears themselves? The wind has blown them all away. Do you remember when all the young men made New Year's calls and all the girls and their mothers kept open house? Those dear, jolly old times.
Oh, yes, indeed. I've heard they...
Even politics seemed simpler then. It was easier when we let men do all that for us, though they did get so many things wrong, poor things.
Oh, I don't know. We elected Roosevelt, and...
Yes, but if women had voted when Mr. Tilden ran against Hayes and Wheeler, you surely don't believe there'd have been all that excitement over the election, do you?
I don't...
You know that was a terrible thing.
About Tilden and Hayes and Wheeler?
Don't you think it was?
Yes, I suppose it... Oh, yes, it was, of course.
My poor father used to get excited over that to the day of his death.
Oh, your father did.
Well, I thought it was wrong, too.
He stares at her, again perplexed. She sews.
You,
What?
Nothing. That is, I had nothing in mind to say.
Isabel musing, smiling.
I suppose my father felt it so much because he knew Mr. Tilden. I never met him.
As if she had met others like him.
But I should like to see Mr. Cleveland's expression if he could see women voting, or General Harrison's.
General Harrison's expression? Do you mean Harrison who was president in, 18,
Yes, President Benjamin Harrison. Good gracious, I didn't mean his grandfather, President William Henry Harrison, who was president in 1840 or something.
No. I knew you didn't mean him.
Well, no.
She sews and takes up the theme, as if musing absently.
Most of them used to be generals before they ran for president, didn't they?
You mean like General Harrison?
Yes, General Harrison, General Garfield.
Oh, yes.
And most of all, General Grant.
Yes, General Grant.
Isabel laughing absently as she sews.
We'd hardly remember him, of course.
She looks up at him, as if disquieted by a thought, though she smiles nervously.
You never did see him, did you?
As if diplomatically getting at his age.
General Grant? No.
Isabel, as if relieved, smiling a little, as if at an absurdity as she looks back at her work.
Of course, I suppose not.
No, I never did.
She looks up at him innocently, carelessly, then seems to become aware of something unusual in his look at her.
What is it?
Nothing.
Oh, yes, I can tell. You're thinking about something that bothers you. At least you looked as if you were puzzling about something, weren't you?
Indeed I wasn't. Not at all.
I'm sure you are wondering about something.
No, I'm not. Not about anything at all.
Yes, but you are. I wonder if I know what you're wondering about.
Ames too quickly sits on sofa.
No, you don't. That is, I mean to say you don't, because I'm not, so you couldn't.
But I think I do.
Indeed, you're mistaken. I'm not wondering about anything. Not about anything.
Aren't you even wondering anything about me?
No, certainly not.
Rises.
Nothing at all. That is, I'm not wondering. Of course I'm thinking about you.
What are you thinking about me?
Nothing at all.
Isabel nodding.
I see. You're thinking about me, but you aren't thinking anything in particular about me.
Yes. No.
I understand perfectly.
No, but you don't.
Yes, you meant yes and no, didn't you?
Well,
Of course you did. That clears it all up, you see. Yes and no.
What was it I made plain?
What you were thinking about me. It's perfectly natural you would wonder a little about that, too.
But I didn't. I assure you, I didn't wonder.
How could you help wondering about what you're wondering about?
But I'm not. Indeed, I'm not.
Isabel laughing.
Why, of course you are. You're wondering just how romantic I am. That's what you're wondering.
Ames, much relieved, sits.
Oh, well, perhaps I was wondering a little about that. Yes, I admit it. You are romantic, you say.
I was when I was a child.
What were you romantic about then?
When I was a child?
Yes. What did you find to be romantic about? In a general way, I mean.
Oh, well, I suppose the same things you were being romantic about at the same time. That is, about the same time, I suppose.
She does not smile. Ames smiling nervously, trying to be easy.
Oh, yes.
I think there was a great romantic influence upon the whole country about that time, don't you think?
Just about then?
Yes. I think what did it was the World's Fair.
You do? Well, there was the San Francisco Fair, and the St. Louis one, and the one at Buffalo. And yes, wasn't there one once in Chicago in...
Yes, and one in Philadelphia in 1876.
But I meant, which was the one you meant made everybody so romantic?
Isabel easily as she sews again.
I was speaking of the one when I was a child.
Oh, yes, that one.
Isabel looking up innocently.
I know what you're trying to do.
Why, we were just talking along. I wasn't trying to...
Why, yes, you were.
No,
Yes, you keep on trying to find out how romantic I still am.
Well...
Oh, I don't mean that I'm as romantic as you are, Mr. Ames. The most romantic woman isn't so romantic as the least romantic man.
What?
It's very simple. You see, men don't get older.
Men don't?
No, they don't. They don't get older, and they stay young and romantic.
Florence outside.
Mr. Ames? Mr. Ames?
Don't they stay romantic?
Well,
For instance, when you're interested in anyone, don't you prefer to be alone with them?
Yes, I do. I am. We are.
Florence outside.
Mr. Ames? Mr. Ames?
Doesn't she mean you?
Oh, yes, your charming little niece.
Charming, yes.
Oh, that doesn't mean that I like all of them. I believe I mentioned that last night.
Yes, I believe you did.
But there is something about this one that...
Yes?
Yes, indeed. She's your...
Florence outside.
Mr. Ames? Mr. Ames?
She's calling you, isn't she?
So it seems.
Hadn't you better...
Yes, I'll just tell her. Perhaps I'd better.
Yes, do.
Yes, I...
Goes up centre, looking off right. Florence outside.
Mr. Ames!
Isabel rises and goes to left centre, listens for a second, and then crosses to door left.
Just a moment. Your aunt and I... Oh, have you finished your game?
Isabel exits door left. Florence outside.
I'm coming.
She's coming.
Turns and stares at Isabel's vacant chair, goes up centre, looks off left, goes to door down left and looks off.
Well,
Florence enters up right. Florence has her racket, but not the net of balls.
I knocked all the balls as far as I could in the shrubbery. He has to hunt till he finds 'em. Then I ran and fixed about the telegram.
Oh, no, I really can't.
Don't worry. If you don't like it when it comes, you can just say it isn't important and tear it up, can't you?
I suppose so.
Attaboy.
Ames nervously pacing up and down left.
But
Is anything bothering you?
She sits on sofa right.
Why, of course not.
Did Aunt Isabel say...
She said, I understood her to say that she wasn't your aunt exactly.
No, she's my great-aunt.
Yes, so she said.
Why?
Of course, there are a great many young great-aunts.
Young great-aunts? I don't see how they could be.
I meant comparatively, like your Aunt Isabel.
Oh, I suppose Aunt Ellen knows how old Aunt Isabel is, but you know how some women are.
You mean these miracles?
No, I mean they don't usually tell. I don't see why people get so sensitive about things like that. I tell anybody that wants to know what I am. I'm 19. I don't care. Golly.
Well, it's a subject I'm interested in. Always been interested in, I mean. I mean in a general way, of course.
What you getting at? Do you always do this when you're alone with people? Talk about other women and their ages?
No, indeed, I don't.
If you're so anxious about it, why, I'm on right confidential terms with Aunt Isabel, and I could ask her right out how...
No, you mustn't think of such a thing. You really mustn't.
I won't. That is, I won't if you're nice to me. Don't I intrigue you any?
You do. Don't you see how much you do?
I never had a chance at a man of experience. You wouldn't ever think that I suffer terribly, would you?
You do?
Sits on sofa left of Florence.
I suffer fearfully.
What from?
Well, from thoughts. I suffer because nobody understands 'em, so I can't tell 'em. I don't know what makes me tell you all these things like this.
Smiles at him trustingly.
But it's nice, our getting intimate this way, isn't it? Do you remember where you left my slippers?
Your slippers?
Will you see, please? I thought maybe you'd be so awfully kind as to...
She sweetly lets the inference be made as she projects a foot.
I rather think your aunt said she was coming back.
Don't you remember what you did with them?
I think I put them...
Florence looking about.
They haven't been taken out, have they?
I don't think so. I didn't see anyone.
Why, there they are on the hearth.
Oh, yes, so they are.
Would it be too outrageous of me to...
Oh, no, indeed.
Rises and starts left.
No, over there.
Ames crosses to fireplace, gets slippers. Ames glancing apprehensively left.
I'll be only too delighted.
He kneels. Florence, as he helps her to exchange the tennis shoes for the slippers.
My, it's a relief to be with a man that understands the deeper side of life a few minutes now and then.
I'm glad you like it.
Is that all? Couldn't you make it any stronger? Don't you think I'm a grand little thing?
She bends toward him, apparently earnest. Ames smiling wanly.
I do.
You do what?
I do, indeed.
Johnny enters upright with the net of tennis balls.
Attaboy. You are sure you do indeed?
Johnny, upright centre.
Why don't you try the lady with a pair of nines, Mr. Ames? We've got a good stock of 9Bs on the top shelf in the storeroom.
Aunt Ellen enters left. She comes in rather quickly. Her expression is gracious, but she is astonished to find Ames on his knees before Florence. She halts sharply, speaks quickly, and at once turns to go out indignantly by the way she has come.
Excuse me.
Turns back left.
Oh,
He would rise, but Florence checks him.
My other slipper?
but
He sees Isabel through open door left. Rising,
Oh, gracious.
Isabel enters left. Isabel smilingly and smoothly as she enters.
Ellen, dear, I've been looking for you to meet Mr. Ames.
Laughing commiseratingly, she comes to them.
Poor Florence, is she having trouble with her new slippers again?
Isabel points to tennis shoe Ames has under his arm. He immediately throws it on sofa.
I'm afraid you'll think we're terrible people to make use of our visitors, Mr. Ames.
Ames, who has risen.
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all, indeed.
I'm afraid we do, though. You'll make up your mind never to come here again.
With a gesture indicating Ellen.
I think I told you I wanted you to meet my other,
She is speaking with inconsequent cheerfulness, and tapers the sound off as he turns towards Ellen. Isabel smilingly nodding toward Ellen.
Ellen, dear, this is Mr. Ames.
He bows.
How do you do?
Mr. Ames, Ellen is my other niece.
Your other? How do you do?
With a blank expression, he makes an inarticulate sound and stands in an instantaneously arrested attitude.
Now you know my whole family, my niece and my great-niece. They're both the greatest comfort to me.
Oh, yes. Thank you.
Isabel lightly turning from him.
And, Florence, if you've finished with the footwear?
Ellen sits by the table left centre.
Oh, yes, we finished.
Isabel sunnily including Johnny and speaking as if she were trying to think of something entertaining for them.
Then wouldn't you three like to dance or something?
What?
You must all go right on entertaining yourselves just as if we weren't here. We love to look on, don't we, Ellen?
Aunt Ellen with a glance toward Florence's feet.
Yes, when they behave.
Sits left of table. Isabel sits right of table. Isabel laughing to Ellen on this, then at once speaking to the other group.
Can't you think of anything to amuse yourselves?
Then, as with a quick afterthought, not seriously said, yet perhaps meant.
You don't mind our being here, do you?
Florence jumping up.
Of course not. Turn on that record.
Yes. Music, Johnny.
Johnny goes up. Aunt Ellen grimly to Isabel, who is taking her seat by the table.
But they don't dance, they only waggle. It's fearful.
Johnny pauses.
Oh, but they do love it so. They mustn't be disappointed.
To the others.
She doesn't really mind. You can dance.
She sits taking up her work.
Attaboy.
She seizes Ames's hand.
I don't know these new dances.
She'll teach you. Music, Johnny.
Johnny turns on the records. Florence forcing Ames to dance.
Come on. I never heard of a man that couldn't dance with me. Ouch!
She hops, her foot slightly injured, but keeps on dancing. Ames as she cries out.
Murder!
Isabel under cover to him. He is close to her.
Walk. Just walk. That's all you need to do.
He does better upon this.
That's it. Just walk.
Florence to Ames.
Isn't it divine?
Henry enters upright. Isabel indulgently to Aunt Ellen.
Isn't it delightful to see them so happy?
Henry comes down to Isabel. He has a folded telegraph blank in his hand. She observes him.
Isn't it time for Mr. Ames's train, Henry?
No, Mum.
He shows the blank.
Oh, something for me?
She rises and extends her hand for the blank. Florence seeing this.
Oh, murder.
They stop dancing left centre. Isabel as Henry hands her the blank.
What is it?
Henry as Isabel examines the blank.
I don't rightly know, Mum. I was told about it in such a hurry.
He glances nervously at Florence.
I may not have got my instructions just exactly.
Your instructions? Oh, this isn't really a telegram. No, there's no envelope and date, and it's written in such a bad backhand that I can hardly... Oh!
She speaks as though with a sudden revelation, comprehending, and glances quickly at Florence.
Oh, I see.
Rises.
I don't think it's for me, Henry.
Hands telegram to Henry.
Here, let me.
She comes to the rescue, seizes the blank, hands it swiftly to Ames, who stands dismayed.
You see, Mr. Ames wired his partners from here, and so this must be from them. Of course it's a telegram, isn't it, Mr. Ames?
Isabel, gently insistent.
Is it Mr. Ames?
I can't read it.
It is a difficult handwriting.
She knows it is Florence's hand, though somewhat disguised. Florence taking the blank hastily.
I can read most any hand. Why, yes, it's perfectly plain. It says, "No business in the office today. If you wish to remain where you are, no reason whatever for returning to New York." Signed Witherspoon and Ames. He told me himself he had a partner named Witherspoon.
Johnny stops phonograph. Isabel to Ames.
Oh, then it is a real telegram.
She knows of course it isn't. Ames as Florence turns quickly toward him.
Why, it, seems to be.
Oh, then you'll stay?
If he stays, it appears that he stays upon Florence's urgence.
Why, I...
Mr. Ames won't be going to the station, Henry.
Henry exits up left. Florence has carelessly set the blank upon the table after reading it, her fingers resting upon it, but Aunt Ellen draws it away to look at it, Florence turning as if to reclaim it. Aunt Ellen rather excitedly.
But there isn't even an envelope. It isn't a real telegram. The writing's queer, but it looks exactly like Florence.
She finishes the word, but Isabel cuts her off loudly on Flor, pushing the bell button on left wall.
Music, Johnny! Isn't it lovely? Now you can dance all day.
She turns to centre as she speaks, and limps suddenly, and says, "Oh, oh," as if in pain. Johnny has started the vocalion at her first word. It plays softly. Florence has seized Ames's hand with a jubilant hooray as the music starts, but they pause as Aunt Ellen speaks.
What's the matter with you?
Nothing. Oh!
She limps again. Johnny coming down anxiously.
What is the matter, Miss Stewart?
Nothing. I'm afraid I sat a little too long on a baggage truck in a cold wind last night, that's all. It's nothing.
Oh, rheumatism, that's nothing.
She retains Ames's hand, moves as if to begin dancing. Mattie enters left, her right hand behind her. Ames, plaintively to Florence.
Just,
He means just a moment, but breaks away from Florence and crosses to centre to speak to Isabel.
I hope it's nothing very...
No, it isn't. It's just a touch. You mustn't stop dancing.
Florence crosses to centre, takes Ames up centre to dance. Johnny taking Isabel's arm decisively.
I'll look after you, Miss Stewart. I'd prefer to.
He gives Florence a bitter look.
Thank you, Johnny.
To Mattie.
Did you find them, Mattie?
You don't want to put them on here, do you?
No? Well...
As if to go out left.
Put what on?
Nothing.
Mattie bringing her hand from behind her, showing an old pair of rather large, flat black slippers, not displaying them pointedly to audience.
Them. I don't mind lending them to you, but...
Isabel quickly checking her.
I thought perhaps they might help me, but not...
Not now and here, she means. The scene is hurried. Johnny taking the slippers.
Why not? Why, certainly. You let me put 'em on for you, Miss Stuart. I'd very much prefer to. Here, you'd better lie down.
He is conducting her to the sofa, her limp increasing a little.
Do you think I'd better lie down, Johnny?
Johnny severely to Matty.
Why don't you fix these pillows for her?
Isabel lies down. Matty hastily obeys the suggestion.
She's all tired out, and I guess she's had enough to make anybody tired.
He takes off her slippers.
What is the matter, Miss Stuart?
Why, she's been made awful tired, and she's got rheumatism and everything.
Oh, no, not quite.
Johnny to Matty.
Put that wrap over her.
Ames starting to stoop to fix her slippers.
Won't you let me?
Isabel stopping him.
Oh, no, you must go on dancing.
But
Ames stares all the time, incredulously at Isabel. So does Aunt Ellen across left.
I'm so much trouble, Johnny.
Pointing to the slippers.
Aren't they awful?
Johnny as he puts them on.
No, they're not. I prefer 'em myself. I very much prefer 'em.
He puts her other slippers defiantly under his arms.
You just lie back and rest, Miss Stuart. I'll look after you.
Thank you, Johnny.
She lies on sofa, head at right of sofa, facing centre.
Louder, Maddie.
Matty opens Vocalion to its loudest. Florence seizes Ames and they dance.
If you can rest with all this going on.
Ames and Florence dance over to left front of table, go around table and come to centre.
That's right. That's right.
Referring to the dance.
Isn't it lovely to see the young people so happy?
Ames and Florence start to whirl around in centre. Ames looks at Isabel. Isabel, as if beating time, saying,
1, 2, 1, 2.
Curtain. Note, this final scene will have to be worked out carefully in rehearsal, beginning slowly, and the sequences shown here may need altering when it is worked out. The effect is to bring the curtain down, not on a curtain line, but upon a scene of movement and sound conveying the situation. Johnny is only earnest and indignantly sympathetic with Isabel here, but the appearance of things is, both gentlemen are anxious about Isabel, and that Florence is amazed. End of Act 2.